Dr. Donald Morton.
Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton.
Dr. Donald Morton. Dr. Donald Morton is an award-winning social entrepreneur known for his innovative social solutions.
Based on this fatherhood and manhood issue in droves, in incredibly large numbers. And I felt it necessary for someone to have a voice like yourself to do the work of restoring men in our society. And I've been doing that work ever since.
His latest solution is expressed as the CEO of Remand.
So Remand, the nonprofit, is about helping brothers that are coming out of prison, brothers that are dealing with child support, brothers that are the most marginalized of our communities, helping them with their character and the institutions that impact them. And then the LLC, our for-profit arm, is really attempting to address the CEOs and CFOs and entrepreneurs and people like that say, look, I got issues too as a Black man. My issues are a bit different because I'm in the C-suite. Mm-hmm. And how it plays out in the C-suite is very different than how it plays out on the block and those brothers that are coming out of re-entry. But here's a deal. All of us the same, for real, for real.
Dr. Morton is the former executive director of the Complexities of Color Coalition. As executive director of the coalition, he worked to congregate Wilmington, Delaware's African American community in order to create comprehensive strategy to influence institutions, policies, and laws. Dr. Morton has over 25 years of experience in African American community leadership. Remand is deeply personal. While he's glad that thousands of men are on this journey with him, it was started because he needed liberation. He was broken and bound, and he was fighting to put his life back together after divorce, infidelity, business challenges, bankruptcy, and a life destroyed by being the worst liar ever. Yes, Dr. Morton was a liar until he faced himself and proved his signature science, the character arc. Then and only then was he ready to lead men to learn and live the science of being Remand.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Let's see. Let's roll call. Tell me who's out there and where you're watching from. Let me get the best possible pick for this. It's not that one. It's that one. Good afternoon. It's not morning. I know that we're due on at 10 o'clock. What's up, Coach? Good to see you, my guy. Thank you for hanging out with us. I saw some other brothers on here as well. I am your dude, Donald Morton, Chief Visionary Officer of Remand. We help Black businessmen break the vicious cycles of missed potential so that they master life, leadership, and legacy. And on my right hand, they say the right hand is the hand of the side of power, the one with the real influence, and Remand, the real leader of Remand, the brains behind the whole. Isn't that that's New Jack City? I just took New Jack City. He the brains behind the whole organization. If I'm going down, we Leroy going down as well.
I think it's a couple other folks saying that right about now too. So if I'm going down, I'm taking everybody with me.
I'm taking everybody with me. What's happening, man?
Look at him over there. Pretty Ricky, what they call her.
Kareem Akbar.
He the one behind all of it.
Educated brother from the bank. Those of y'all that are fans of New Jack City, you know exactly what scene we're in. We're in the scene in the courtroom after Nino got caught, and he told on everybody. Everybody. Yeah. So If you haven't watched New Jack City, you're not black. I mean, it's as simple as that. If you've not seen New Jack City,
Yeah, you deserve to get your
yeah,
for real, for real.
give it here. Give it here. If you have not,
Yeah, just give it here.
yeah, just give it here. just give it here. Thank you all for tolerating my change in schedule today. I'm man enough to let you know that today's transitions had nothing to do with Leroy. When it's his fault, I let you know it's his fault. And when
And
it's
even when it's not.
even when it's not his fault, I'm gonna let you know it's his fault. Today is not his fault. I feel like being a big boy today. Today is not his fault. Today is my fault. I had a doctor's appointment this morning, and I needed to handle that and be there for that. And then I said 2:00, and then I was out getting meds. Everything is fine. Nothing crazy going on with me. Everything is well, but I needed to run out and get some meds that the doctor told me to get, and now I'm here with y'all. So if you don't like the fact that I'm late, log off. Nobody cares. No, that's not true. Listen, you can't be in business. Leroy, all these tough talking people that act like they don't need customers, right? Is crazy to
They'll
me.
let you know real quick, bro. And let you know real quick. You can think you missed the big shot, missed the big stuff like Heavy D said. You missed the big stuff all you want to. Let them folks start leaving.
Oh, God. Let them
and
start
stop
leaving.
supporting. Mm-hmm.
Let them start leaving, and you will see exactly what
And,
is going on.
and see, people don't really understand the leverage and the power that we have as consumers,
Mm,
as voters, and
mm.
everything else. Because you as an entrepreneur, you can do what you want to do. Anybody stopping you from doing it? We ain't gonna tell you what to do. But the thing is, and that's just like when we talk about sports and we talk about the athletes getting paid money and this, that, and the other. Yeah, you can say you want that amount of money, but the truth be told, this is real. This is real life in
Yeah,
real life.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So
And
yeah,
my son and I, my oldest son, Kishad, and I were talking about that. He said, "Can we get rid of this language that the customer is always right?" I said, "Nope." You can't get rid of that language. Now, are they always right? No, but you know what? You better make them feel like they are. Because there is no business without a customer. My mom told me years ago, son, there's no pastor who don't have members. If he doesn't have members, he's not a pastor. It's as simple as that, right? So yeah, my son and I were talking about that recently.
I mean, and here's what I say too, bro. And one of my business books that I wrote is called "The Customer's Not Always Right." But here's the concept, and I say this: the customer's not always right, but they do come first. Which
Mm-hmm.
means you like you were just saying, yeah, you better make them feel like that they are, and even, bro. I mean, I can tell you some experiences that I had in the hospitality industry, and I'm talking, and we have a thing where it's called where you have to walk a guest, where the hotel is totally booked. You have no more rooms, and everybody shows up. Airlines go through it too.
Yeah.
Everybody shows up.
Yeah.
And you got to explain to this person that you got to walk them from your hotel to another hotel, which is, which you've already made arrangements because you know you can walk somebody. So one night, bro, real quick, and I was manager on duty that weekend. This dude comes in drunk. I'm like, oh man, here we go. And I got to walk this dude, to this hotel, and he was not happy at all. I mean, he goes to pushing, throwing stuff all around on the front desk, and I'm just like, dude, don't make me have to go here, because I ain't got a problem calling the cops on nobody.
Mm-hmm.
For real, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Come get them, and you try to explain to them sir, we know, we're all sold out. We have absolutely no rooms here. We can't, we're not putting you in a ballroom. You know what I'm saying? So we've got to send you. We've made accommodations. You don't pay for anything. Everything is taken care of. We got a shuttle that's going to take you there, come get you, bring you back tomorrow, because you'll be back in a room tomorrow. We just absolutely have no rooms tonight. We don't tell them that everybody showed up, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody showed up. And with the hotel, you usually overbook your rooms by 10%, which is a certain number over, because you count on people not showing up.
Yeah.
People don't show up. But there are times where everybody shows up. And so he had a right to be upset, but you're not going to be disruptive either, and you have a right to be, disgruntled and everything like that. But there's also a way that you're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to disrespect my employees either. That is not going to happen,
Yeah,
I'm not going to let you talk to them in any kind of way.
We can certainly talk about that, but here's the deal. If I got a confirmation number, and by virtue of the fact that you guys overbooked me, that ain't my fault. And I'm going to act the monkey.
No, it's not.
Act the monkey. Because
but you can act the monkey.
I got a confirmation number. That confirmation number guarantees me a room in this hotel. So you're not going to
It guarantees you. Wait a minute. It guarantees you a room.
You're not going to inconvenience me by popping me in the shuttle, taking me to another hotel. I can't unpack. Then I got to be shuttled back here. Oh, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
So you're right.
The same thing with airlines.
No, that's not fixing your policy. No, it's not about fixing your policy.
If you overbook your hotel, that ain't on me. That's on y'all, because you're gambling on whether or not everybody's going to show up. That's a money game. And you're not going to inconvenience me as a customer because they played your game. Nah, you're not going to inconvenience me. Ain't going to make me feel like it's my fault because the hotel overbooked.
Nobody's made you feel like it's your fault. But here's the deal. Here's the deal with it. I've told customers this to do. What do you expect us to do? There are no rooms. So you ain't getting a room.
Okay,
period. You're not getting a room.
You shouldn't have took my money. You shouldn't have took my money. When you took my money and you gave me a confirmation number, you guaranteed me the room. You gambled. You lost your gamble.
Exactly. And what we've done is we've accommodated you for the overbooking. That's what we've done. So it's not like we're just saying, oh, well, that's it. We're taking care of everything for you. You don't have to lift a finger. Only thing you got to do is go to get shuttled to another hotel. So and the hotel isn't that far away.
You telling me, no. It's not a matter of how far the hotel is. And I'm speaking as a consumer again. As a consumer, if you take my money, you tell me I got a confirmation number. When I show up at the front desk, I want my room. I don't want a room.
And you know what I'm hotel. Like I said, you know what I tell? What? Like I tell people, you can take it up with corporate because this is their policy. This ain't ours. They tell you that you're supposed to overbook your room. You can go have your argument with them. Because your argument ain't with me. I'm doing what I'm told to do, which is to overbook the rooms by a certain percentage. And there are going to be times where everybody shows up. Now, you happen to show up 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, wanting a room when everybody else decided to get here by 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. That ain't on us. That's on you. We guarantee you a room. Doesn't say that it's a room.
Guarantees the rate, not the room. What in the heck am I paying for? You tell
Say that again.
Coach said the confirmation guarantees the rate, not the room. So what the heck am I paying for? I think this is good for everybody who travels, and particularly for Leroy, who is in the industry. So my argument ain't with Leroy. My argument is with the policy. He mentioned this too, which is true. Right, that the airlines do the exact same thing, and then everybody shows up, and somebody can't get a seat. Everybody paid. Like, come on, y'all, that's crazy to me. Now, I understand.
That's business.
No,
that's business.
Nah, bro.
That's been and the airlines what they do to try and accommodate people, they will ask people if they want to, if it's anyone that's on this flight that wants to take another flight, and they'll compensate them for it. They'll pay them, say, well, we'll give you X amount of dollars. Some people will actually take the airlines up on that. I've seen it happen before.
Yeah,
I've been on a flight that was overbooked,
I've seen it happen before too.
And
it's the reason why I fly first class. I fly first class because at the end of the day, Crystal said, depending on the type. What's up, Crystal? Fendi Styles Clark. We haven't seen you in a while. Depending on the type of reservation, if the reservation is prepaid with regards to having a deposit, then the room is guaranteed. If the reservation is just confirmed, then the customer may get bumped if the hotel reaches capacity. And so here is, let's see.
Thank you, Crystal.
Give them full value they have to give them full value for their seat. Yeah, and I'm speaking as a person who travels often. Crystal is in the travel industry. Leroy is in the travel industry. So I'm feeling like arguing with them today. And Leroy's right when he says, look, take that up with corporate. Of course, he can't say that, though. He can't say that to a customer, right? He can say to me, he can't say that to a customer. Hey, take that up with corporate. What I'm saying to organizations and particularly,
I'll say it. I just wouldn't say it like that. I wouldn't say it like that. That's just what I do. Yeah, I'd definitely let them know. Hey, there's nothing that we can do at this point. All the rooms are sold. Yeah, the rooms are sold.
And so my point would be, yes, one of the rooms that was sold was mine. Mine. You already told me that I couldn't show up to get a room before 3. So now you want to govern when I show up, and then I'm too late, even though I showed up at the time you told me to show up. Now I'm too late, and you're going to shuttle my black behind across town so I can sleep across town, and then
it would not be across town. It would not be across. It would not be across town. Trust me.
And now I got to shuttle my black behind back across town to get into the room that you overbooked. Compensate me.
Yeah, they will. They'll compensate you. And corporate may even give you your money back, but you're not gonna get it back that night. And your only options, and I tell you, these are your options. You can either hop on the shuttle and have it taken care of, or you can go and get a hotel yourself. Those are the options.
Look at Leroy. Look at Leroy. Go on, be gone.
Yeah, exactly. Be gone. Because I'm not gonna be and like I said, I've had a couple of instances where I've had to encounter people like that. And it's no, it's just, it is, I don't say it is what it is, but since I've been in the industry, I understand it. Yeah. And I understand, and I know that hotels do it, like Crystal was saying, airlines do it. It's a part of that game. Like you said, it is rolling the dice. Because there are going to be days where everybody shows up.
Look everybody shows up. What Coach said.
This is what Leroy answered.
You got to deal with all these people that's tripping out. Like I just tripped out. Like I'm the guy. Let me tell y'all this. I'm the guy that's going to show up at the hotel. I'm going to be ignorant. Yep,
that's what I was going to say. I'm
that guy. I'm gonna argue with you for the next hour about why my room is not ready.
And you know what I'm saying?
Doors. I'm going.
And you know what I'm saying,
sir? You're in my room.
And you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be like, okay, are you finished with your rant? Here are your options. And what you can do, you can fuss and argue all you want to, but these are your options. Option A, option which one you want, or option 3 is we can do it the hard way. I call the cops and they can explain. They can give you the cops can give you a room too. They can give you a room.
I'm gonna say like I said to the judge when they ordered my child support. Call them. Then Leroy gonna say, "I'm gonna oblige you." As soon as the cop, no officers, I'm good. But this is really a good conversation to have.
Yes.
What's up, Christina Ross? Good to see you, sis. It is a good conversation to have. because these are the policies that happen behind the scenes. I'm making a big
Oh,
deal
absolutely.
intentionally, but these are the policies that happen behind the scenes. And even with Remand, we have a gala coming up. One of the ways to keep costs down is there is always people who say they will be there and they will not be there. Always, right? So you take off 10% because the hotel automatically makes 10% more in food and beverage and that kind of thing. So you end up coming out on top. But if everybody shows, now we in trouble. And you know what I'm going to do? If all y'all show up at the gala, and y'all don't look for me, look for Leroy. Leroy understands. Leroy gonna tell you be on, or Leroy gonna tell you we got somebody to officer, and you in your tuxedo and you in your gown will be escorted to the local police precinct. That is Crystal said
like, nope.
Customer come back from London. His seat was confirmed going. However, his seat was not confirmed on the return. The airline made an announcement to request travelers to take a later flight and receive travel credit for $1,500. We upgraded him to a later flight and first class with additional travel miles. Right. You gotta do,
and that's what you do. Right? You
definitely do something.
And that's what
I'm tossed. Leroy on here talking all that yang. when people show up, when it's 152 people that show up, then I'm gonna say, hey, listen, Leroy McKenzie Jr. The whole government name. Leroy McKenzie Jr. is the one you need to see, ma'am.
I don't know nothing about it. See, and look, you know what I'm saying? Though I'm saying we as men been doing it ever since the beginning of time. Adam said that woman you gave me, did it.
That COO you gave me. Contact him. He spent a whole broadcast telling me the reason why you are wrong, ma'am. Leroy and figure out how to fix it. I don't know. I'm enjoying my chicken. I'm enjoying all the artwork. I'm enjoying the music, right? I'm enjoying the speakers. This is a great event. I'm in here because you don't have a seat and you bought a ticket for a seat. I don't know how that happens. I just know that Leroy can explain it to you. Contact Leroy McKenzie Jr. His number is, he's right in fact, he's right here next to me. This is Leroy. This is Leroy.
I got my seat. I'm good. Because I showed up. I showed up on time.
So y'all already know that the gala is going to be off the chain. Some of y'all right now are praying that somebody shows up with and don't get a seat so that you can see how Leroy Crystal said, Leroy, just make sure you keep track of the room block occupancy. You know what, Crystal? We were just talking about that.
Yeah, we've had a conversation about
last
that.
Week. The room block occupancy, and look at Dwight. Let them wait. Hey y'all, it's good to see y'all. You can always tell when we miss y'all because we come on here clowning. We ain't talked to y'all in a while. We come on here clowning. Leroy came on here, was coming in hot today with a nonsense about how hotels can overbook and all they got to do is travel, create a bus in the next state and get you
next state.
So you might not be in Georgia, you might be in Tennessee. But
the hotels are not going to do y'all like that. They have, trust me, their partnerships with hotels that are right there in the area. And what you do is you have to check the area when you know that there's a possibility of there being a full house. You check. You're always constantly checking the occupancy of the other hotels and say, hey, there's a possibility we're going to have some walks
Got it.
And we're gonna need the blocker, not blocker
Got it.
room, room
Got
or two. And like you said, it is like Crystal was saying, you do compensate them, and they may even get a comp night where they
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
even.
yeah.
Hey, we'll take a night off where you don't have to pay. There's
Yeah,
some
yeah,
kind of way that you compensate because it is an inconvenience. And
yeah,
like
yeah.
you said, they did pay. It's not like they didn't pay or anything like that. They just happened to get there after the others
Yeah,
had showed up. Everybody
yeah.
showed up earlier or showed up in whatever time that they showed up. And by the time you got there, all the rooms was booked.
Now
It's
you
like,
educated me. You educated me, bruh, because when they tell me I can't show up until 3, then I'll just take my time. But what you
mm,
just said is important, right? Like for those of you that travel now, understand when they say 3:00, show up at around 3:15, 3:30, 4
yeah,
o'clock, because the later you show up, the more they have the likelihood of filling the rooms. And then you
yeah,
show up and you'd be out of luck. I did not know that's the way that it works.
yeah.
So thank you for educating me.
Yeah, and what it is, the reason you can't the checkout is at 12 is usually 11, and the reason it's 11 because you got to clean the rooms, you got to turn the
Yeah,
rooms over.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that 3 o'clock gives the housekeeping staff time to be able to clean
yeah,
the rooms and get
yeah,
them ready. So
yeah,
3 o'clock is the earliest that you can get it, and they'll make exceptions if you want to make an early check-in.
yeah,
And even they have non-guaranteed rooms. And I ain't trying to give y'all a whole little spiel on hotel industry, but
yeah.
there's a non-guaranteed rooms which are 6 o'clock. After 6 o'clock, anything that's not guaranteed, yeah, you lucky if you get a room. Now for somebody that don't have all the
Wow.
guaranteed, yeah, all of the non-guaranteed rooms, they're sold right away.
Those
It's
the
like, yeah, okay,
non-guaranteed rooms are the rooms that you didn't pay for ahead of time. You just put it
correct.
on hold.
Correct.
Is
Yeah,
that
you
right?
just put it on hold. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So
Okay.
all of those go for all. You cancel all of those first. So that'll knock those people out. So you say, okay, I got X amount of people still just left to show up, and these rooms are
Wow.
guaranteed. And you can block some rooms because you say, okay, I know Mr. and Mrs. So and so, they guaranteed it, and we know that they are a special guest. Let's say Marriott does it, where if you're a Marriott, if you're a Marriott, I
It's
forgot, Marriott rewards
or
purchase.
or something
Yeah,
like that now, right?
yeah, we can block the rooms. Any kind of sales groups that come in, all of
Yes, sir.
those rooms get blocked. All of those get blocked first.
Okay.
All of those get blocked so that they get a room, and then everybody else that's guaranteed their room to be able to show up. It's like, hey, all right, we got 10 rooms left, and we got 12 people left to show up.
Wow.
We gonna roll it. We gonna see, and we watch. We used to do it. We used to have to watch. All right, we kept the count. Okay, we got X amount of rooms left. All right, are there any rooms on maintenance that we need because you might have a couple of rooms that are on maintenance.
Okay.
That means you can't sell them. Hey, is there a possibility that room can be used for the night because we might need it? You let the maintenance staff know, look, we got it sold out. It's a lot
Yeah.
of things that go into that to make sure, to try
I
and make sure
did
that you
not.
have
I
every
did.
room
I
possible.
just did not know that. It makes perfect
Yeah.
sense from a business perspective, right? When you
Yeah.
say, hey, Donald, that's business. It really is, right?
Yeah.
You kind of playing the numbers on it all. So that is not our conversation today, by the way.
I know, right?
That
We
was-
gotta change it.
yeah, y'all know how we do it. You know how we do it. Crystal said, all right, take care. Just wanted to give my 2 cents. Good to see you, Crystal.
Good to see you, lady.
Dwight said he's coming early. Yeah, Dwight. Come in on the gala isn't until Saturday. Be here the previous Saturday. Based on what Leroy is saying, be here the previous Saturday.
Don't. He said spend a whole week in Atlanta. Spend a whole week in Atlanta.
Yeah, just spend a whole week in the most chocolate area. I guess it isn't. I guess some would say Washington D.C. is, and there's some other places chocolate. But I love Atlanta. I love me some
DC
Atlanta.
is Chocolate City, baby.
DC is Chocolate City. So, hey, listen. What we wanted to Leroy explain. I was trying to kind of pull the video down that you sent me. That we're having. It's a Christian context, but I didn't really want to talk about it from a Christian or a pastor's kind of context. I wanted to talk about it from the question, who's leading your home? And
You talking about the one with Jamal? You talking about the one with Jamal and
yeah,
Latarius?
and Latarius, yes.
Okay,
Because
the question that he asked.
I I want you to explain what happens in the video, and then I want to give a different context to it so that we can broaden the conversation for anyone who is watching and listening today. But talk a bit about what is said in that video, bro.
I'm even trying to remember what the question that he asked him, but it was an interview that Pastor Jamal Bryant did with Latarius.
It was based on Dr. Umar. And Dr. Umar's comment that there are a lot of single women in church, right?
Yeah.
For it. And then Latarius kind of said, what I've heard from men is this thing that you're about to say now.
Yeah, what he talked about, and Pastor Jamal was asking Latarius about single women in church. And their husbands evidently not being in church, but the wife giving more respect to the pastor than he does to the husband. Where Latarius was saying, well, Pastor so and so said this, or Pastor so and so said this, and she's giving more relevance to the pastor than she is to her husband. And I think Jamal asked the question, well, about the who kind of, her, or, her paying more respect to the pastor than she is a husband. And what does that look like? Or why does that happen? Or how does that happen in situations like that? So that was their part of that conversation, because they talked about a lot of things. It was a great conversation.
It was a great conversation.
It's on YouTube for those that want to watch the whole interview. Because Latarius was like, "Woo, you asking some deep questions up in here." He's like, man,
you what do you say? You can say you coming in hot. He just
but he was something similar. Similar to that. He was like the grown man podcast. He was like, the Cotton Candy podcast is there. It's 4 blocks down. Working with a green on to make a left. But up in here, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about showing up.
That are watching, and even the sisters that are watching. Shout out to everyone who's watching. Let us know in the chat, in the comment section, who's watching, where you're watching from. I know Willie is on. I know Dwight is on. I want to know who else is on. Here's the question. And I want to take it out of the church context, right? I want to know if you feel slighted as a brother. If your wife is working and she has a man that is a supervisor, if your wife goes to church and she has a man that is a pastor, do you feel like if your wife, I don't even want to use the word submissive, Leroy. I don't know what if your wife,
that's the word that they use,
and quotes and honors the leadership of her boss, her pastor, so on and so forth, but does not honor you in what you ask her to do, leadership that you attempt to provide, is that a challenge for you? If you are not married, if you're not in a significant relationship, I want to know if it would be a challenge for you. Sisters, if you're watching and you're answering, I want to know whether or not you feel it's proper. I don't know whether Lala is on. Lala every week says, "You my pastor." I'm like, I'm not your pastor. I'm your.
You can't use the P. You can't use the P word.
Me,
Don't use that word around me. Stop cursing at me. Stop cursing at me.
Absolutely right, bro. So, if you are, let's see, Lala's. Good afternoon. As young, immature woman, I made this mistake. Babe, talk about that a bit. Babe, babe, I'm going to send you the link. I want you to come on, please.
Yeah, that'd be great to hear her perspective.
Yeah, I'm going. My wife has been helping me coach all day today. She's been in session with me. Well, not all day, but she's been in session with me. So, babe, I'm going to send the link.
You know you're going to get yourself in trouble, right? She's going to cut that check. She gonna be like, cut that check. She gonna be like, cut that check.
And you know,
my services are.
She called me a nigger all the time. Like, nigger, cut where my money at. Nodella, Nodella, here's the question. Babe, I sent the link to you. Nodella, here's the question. We were watching a podcast. Leroy sent a podcast. He always sends just brilliant content so that we can have conversations about it, right? So this particular content came from a conversation between Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant and Lateris Whitfield,
yeah,
right? From the Dear Future Wifey podcast. look at my wife. This is what I deal with on the daily. No, babe, I
Marlon is cheers.
No, babe, I will.
Marlon is crazy.
I will not.
Well, Marlon, come on. Don't worry about him, Marlon. Marlon, don't come for him. Come for me, please. Come on for me, please. Come on for me.
This is going to be a problem because this is the very topic we're talking about. This is the very topic. If you come on because Leroy said don't worry about him, you come on for me, Lala. Come on for me.
See, now she not gonna come.
Look. White said, "Wow!" Like, so Nodella, the question is, as a woman, I don't know whether Nodella's been married or not, or I don't think she's married now. But as a woman who is married in a significant relationship or otherwise, and you listen to your boss on your job, if you have a supervisor on your job, you listen to a pastor who is a male, if they can provide you leadership, but your man at home cannot provide you leadership, do you think that that's a problem? Do you think that that's a problem? Or once many years ago, look, I only submit to my own LJ. She only submit to her. That's right. Babe, I need you to come on. So I sent you the link. I send it to your IM email, please. So the question is whether or not it's proper even. Because I think Lateris has something there, Leroy, that there are a lot of brothers who feel slighted, that there's this celebration of pastors, right? What pastor taught, my pastor has said, well, just like pastor says, and a brother saying, well, you don't ever give me credit for anything I tell you. You never pay homage to anything I share with you. There's always pushback when it comes to things I share with you, but pastor can share something with you. Your supervisor can tell you you working 2 more hours and you gonna do what you got to do. But where is that level of allegiance to the things that I say to you in my home house? And that's why we're asking the question, who's leading your house for real? Who's leading your house? Is your boss leading your house? Is your pastor leading your house? Or is your husband leading your house? Or as a husband, are you leading in your house? Or somebody else got their hands in? Because here's the other thing, Leroy, and we can talk about this in the next part of it. But the other thing that has to be answered when we talk about who's leading the house is it doesn't even have to be another man. If you got if your lady has,
and that's what it's just where it go.
Okay, go ahead, man.
No, remember the movie? Did you ever see the movie Not Easily Broken with Marsh Chestnut and Taraji P. Henson?
Yes.
And remember the scene where he's like, your mother has already, when they're arguing out front, and she's like, well, she already has a say in our family, in our house anyway. Yes. So it was like the mother was that other person, like you were saying. Doesn't necessarily have to be a man, but it could be a family member. It could be a parent. It could be a mother or
very true.
Coming inside the household, you know what I'm saying? So I get exactly what you're saying.
I agree, bro. Hey, let's see. I was under such a religious, babe. I don't want you to type anymore. I want you to come on the live. She over there. She just threw her stuff at me, Leroy. Look. She coming.
I'm not camera ready. I've been cooking.
You've been cooking. You're not camera ready. You look beautiful. Get on the camera right now. Leroy. See, I run my house, Leroy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. All right, Martin.
She just said no and walked away. This is what I'm talking about. But she just said no and walked away. So Nodella said no. She said Nodella says yes, that's a problem. However, my response will be rather. Say it again, babe. She said, however, my response will be rather lengthy. Your pastor has his or her place in your life, but never above your mate. If your husband isn't providing that leadership, that's where prayer comes in, and seek out counsel how to encourage him to become that leader. I can swallow that. What'd you say about that, Leroy?
No, again, like you, I definitely agree with that, because there's something I think if you have a scenario where the wife is placing someone outside of the marriage
Yes.
over the marriage, then there has to be a conversation.
Yes, sir.
And if she's not comfortable with his leadership or his leadership skills and the way that he's guiding, what their life is, and not say guiding, but he's not actively participating, a good leader, I'll put it that way. He's
Yes.
not. And when I say leader, here's my definition of a leader, and
Okay.
it's right in the name. It's leader. It's someone who listens and learns, someone who empowers, someone who assists, someone who is developing himself or herself, someone who is executing, and someone who is getting results. That's, to me, the characteristics of a leader. If he's not showing those particular characteristics, then there has to be a conversation, because
Okay.
there's no trust. There's evidently not trust there. And I know we took it out of the church realm.
Yes, sir.
But my question, in the context of what Latarius was talking about, where she's always talking about the pastor, I said this: well, why is the husband not going to church with her so that they can have a conversation about what the pastor said? Because he may agree with the pastor said. He
Yeah,
may disagree with the pastor said.
because church, by and large, we've had this
Yes.
conversation before.
Yeah.
Church, by
And I
and
totally
large,
agree.
is for women. It
And
is
I get you, and I agree with that.
it
I
is
totally
ceased to
agree
be
with
for
it.
men. So men
Yeah.
don't show up at places where they are not acknowledged, seen,
Mm,
heard,
mm,
felt, right? So most men just say, that's for you, that's your thing. And I'll develop a relationship with God in the way that I need to develop a relationship with God. So I mean, I'm saying that for the benefit of our viewers. You know that
mm,
already.
mm.
We've had this conversation before. You agree, right? You have books about men, right? And so I want to encourage sisters to understand that what your husband's not going to go anywhere he doesn't feel seen. He's not going to go and be
Yeah.
a part
Yeah.
of any
And that's
he
okay.
doesn't feel seen and heard, and it
And that's great.
feel like it's for him.
And I agree there. But my thing is, even like you said, we'll take it outside of the church. Even if it is a mother, even if it is a father, if it's a parent, it could be a sister, it could be a girlfriend, or whatever. But the question is when you, as a man, see those things happening, there's to me, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, there's definitely a lack of communication somewhere. There's lack of
Mm,
a connection somewhere.
mm.
And there has to be a conversation about that to let her know, you know what? Hey, your friends, your family, they good. I ain't got no problems with them, but I will have an issue with them coming between our family and our
Yeah,
house.
yeah,
So
yeah,
let's
yeah,
talk
yeah, yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah,
talk about what
yeah.
that looks
No
like,
question.
what that means to both of us. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what a lot of men don't do. They don't have the conversation. It's just, you talk to the pastor sometime, and you all the time. He's saying this or he's saying that. That's being disrespectful to me. Well, bro, you need to have that conversation about how it's disrespectful to you, and then even within the context of what she's talking about, what she may be talking about. Hey, why do you feel that way? Why did they, or I feel like this, like you said, you don't necessarily have, if you're not going to church, that's not your thing or whatever, but you should be able to carry on a conversation with your wife about the spiritual aspect of the family. That's your obligation. To me, that's your obligation as a man.
Yeah,
You want to talk
I
about
don't
being
disagree.
leader.
I don't disagree with that at all. But I think the key term, and a lot of this, y'all, has to be hashed out on the front end. Like you shouldn't be getting married sight unseen without there being incredible alignment with regard to spirituality and what that means to each of you. But you are the spiritual leader of your home, bro. And if you are not providing spiritual leadership, then that is a question that needs to be dealt with. Lala says, I was under such a religious situation. It's how I was taught. So she was taught, right? She was taught, and you know, pastors. I pastored, right? I pastored for 25 years. And Lala asked me yesterday when you sent the video to me, Lala asked me, how did you navigate that? I said, I pastored men. I encourage men to pastor their homes. Right. So when I preach a sermon, even though my congregation, it was 51% males, clearly there was 49-50% women. Right. But when I taught a sermon, I was not talking to women.
And see, okay, can I ask you something about that? Because you just flipped what we talked about just a little bit earlier about catering to the pastors. Most pastors catering to women.
Yes. Sir.
So you have the opposite approach to that.
Yes,
that you're going to cater to the men. So as a consequence, you might have had women saying, "Nah, I can't go to that church. He's only talking to men. He's not talking to me." Did you find that happening to you with
because they
church?
didn't know I was talking to men. I chose messages. Here's what the data also says, right? The data also says, and I think many people would agree with this. The data also says that you are more likely to gain women by teaching men than you are to gain men by teaching women.
Okay.
So think about it this way, Leroy. And I'm not saying at all that men don't enjoy ballet and things of that nature, right? But you are more likely to find women at Home Depot than you are to find men at the ballet. Women have a greater likelihood to assimilate into masculine spaces or male spaces than men are assimilating into women's spaces. Right. So because I knew that, I would teach lessons about mission and assignment and purpose and those things that men needed to hear so that they could lead their families. So my expectation was that brothers heard a message, they would go home and apply that message, because you just said accurately so that males have the responsibility of being spiritual leaders. So I wasn't trying to get women to listen to me to create a divide in the family. I was trying to empower a brother so that he could go lead his family with love and the things that you listed earlier. Right. So intentionally, it's a part of the reason why my church was so heavily populated with brothers. I was intentionally trying to get them to do things so that they could step up into the leadership roles of their families. That was my whole goal.
Do you think that the nation is the same way, has that same kind of framework where it's catering to more towards the men of the of the nation versus the teachings to the men and grooming them for leadership versus the women of the nation?
I do. But they have you talking about the Nation of Islam?
Yeah.
The Nation of Islam has that culture, and it's understood. Like it's understood. It's not as understood in the local church as it is understood in the mosque. In the mosque, it's understood. Like this is the way this gonna roll. And they use the biblical model, at least has how they see it. They use the biblical model to determine that. So brothers that came to Transform Church expected to lead they were expected to lead their families. So anytime I had an altar call, I had more altar calls for men than I did for women, because I was attempting to get them to step into the role. I didn't have my role and responsibility was not to lead their families. That wasn't my job. My job was to lead him, become someone to him so that he could lead his family. So I never had the issue of brothers coming to me saying, man, you saying this, and my wife. Now, what she may have said sometime is, hey, you not doing, because brothers held brothers accountable at Transform Church. So she would be able to say, hey, that ain't what Pastor said. That ain't what Pastor said. That ain't what you agreed to. What Pastor said was this, so that man would be able to say, okay, you're right. You're right. That's you're right. Right. So my whole goal was to help brothers become more solid in the leadership for their families in the way that you so accurately discussed.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Coach says, I think that the point is not that if he is not on a mission on purpose, then there is no basis. I think that the point is that if he is not on mission on purpose, then there is no basis. Are you saying, Coach, that if a guy is not clear about his assignment, and if a guy is not clear about his purpose, and he's attempting to lead, that there's no basis for his leadership? Is that what you're saying, Coach? I know you're not saying agree 100%, Donald Morton, to that, but I wanted to ask that question to you. What's up, Michael Norton? You was laid off the exit from being Michael Morton. I actually have a nephew that is Michael Morton. Actually, he has a Muslim name now, so it's not Michael Morton anymore. Look at what Lala said, Leroy. I want you to comment on this, man. She said, truth be told, women also use it to try to manipulate men into coming to church or to simply getting their man's attention.
Yeah, and I can't disagree with that. I think that, anytime you have to manipulate a man to go to church, that's not going to end well. Because like you were saying, he's not gonna feel comfortable. He's not gonna feel like, hey, they ain't saying nothing that I want to hear. This doesn't. He isn't. And we gotta understand this too, fellas. Understand this that even the church has to recognize this. The church has to recognize the language that you're speaking.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
is the language that you're speaking
100%.
speaking to men. And
100%.
it's I happen to be under a wonderful pastor,
Right.
and his emphasis is men. It has been from day one. That was one of the things why my mother told me, hey, you need to come check this church out. She said she loved his emphasis on men being involved in the church. So he's always been that way. And when you have a church that its emphasis is men, it is like you were saying, Donald. So I totally agree with that. That when its emphasis is the men and making sure that the men are right.
Yeah.
Then he's supposed to take that to his home, and that's supposed to filter into the home dynamic and everything like that. So yeah, man, we've got to be careful when you try to, if you think that manipulating man, making him jealous. Well, the pastor said this, and the pastor said that. Yeah, that's not cool. You want to turn a brother off, or you want to make a brother's ego, get kind of, doing that is not, and especially if he's a pastor, like you were saying, that's not speaking the language of men.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not going.
Nodella said it's not a full biblical model because women were using the Bible a lot. No one's questioning whether or not women were used in the Bible. We're questioning the order that God has set, and the order that God has set is really, really clear. So when Nodella says, even as today many men are absent, therefore the women are left to lead the family. Well, you have to ask the question. This is the question that most churches aren't asking. Why are the men absent? Like, you just can't.
I asked that question. I did. I asked that question. I said, what happened to us to make us leave the home? And we haven't had a conversation about that. Because everybody wants to talk about we have all of these single women and this, that, and the other. Said, yeah. And when you look at when that transition happened, took place in the 60s, in the 50s, 60s, going into the 70s, when that separation really started to happen, you got to ask, what happened to the men? If we're supposed to be these reman men that we talk about, what happened to them? And you have these dudes out here that want to say, well, I'm the head and I'm supposed to be the leader of your home. Well, what happened, bro? You ain't leading your home, leaving your home. That's the tough question.
It's and in both, right? That question does have to be answered, and I think it has to be answered objectively. It can't be answered by assuming that a man should just be in the home and tolerate anything, because that ain't true, right? And it can't be answered by saying that a man has a right to leave the home. That ain't true. So we've got to ask the question to the brother, and I think to the brothers, and I think you posed it well, bro. What happened? What happened? Did you not feel celebrated? Did you not feel respected? What happened? Why'd you leave? And there are many brothers who will say, I left because I didn't feel seen, I didn't feel respected. There are a lot of brothers who don't feel adequate, right? But it's only when we ask the question that we're able to deal with a brother in a way that we can help serve him. But if you feel like, and Lala said it so powerfully, and so have you, if you feel like manipulating a brother is going to work, it won't work. And if you feel like disrespecting a brother is going to work, it ain't going to work, right? So we've got to be really, really sensitive to the fact that Leroy talks about this all the time. Brothers got feelings too. We got emotions too. You can't act like you can just disregard us and discard us and act like we're supposed to be okay with that. No, we don't have to be okay with that. We can find places where we are celebrated, seen, and experienced. Now, what I need to tell brothers is, look, guys, being a man, yes, is the least celebrated, most overlooked responsibility, but so is every foundation of every home. Every foundation of every home has that problem, right? So we've got to be willing to endure some stuff. Like I'm on a mission right now to make sure that you guys are acknowledged for Father's Day, right? Don't bring me no tie. Don't bring me no tie. Don't get me no socks.
Even if it's Gucci.
No.
Even if it's Gucci.
I don't care what it is. Don't bring me no tie.
Bring you some Gucci socks and a Gucci tie.
The whole world stops for Mother's Day.
You know.
Right. So
you can't find it.
Go ahead.
No, so you can't find a restaurant in town for Mother's Day, bro. Father's Day, come on in. We've been waiting for you. We was wondering when somebody's gonna show up.
Just seat yourself. Seat yourself.
You know, it's plenty of room.
And we're laughing about it, but brothers are in real pain.
But it's serious.
Like we don't feel seen. For real. This society doesn't celebrate us. But you want us to be present so that you can abuse us?
Ooh. Okay.
It's abusive to have me in the home and ignore me. It's abusive to have not celebrate me. That's abusive.
That was exactly where I was going, bro. I was just going to say, so you want me in the home to ignore me?
Yes.
Does that make sense, bro?
Right.
You want me in the home to ignore me, not acknowledge me, not celebrate me, not to to say, you know what? Yeah, I really appreciate you. Yeah. It ain't got to be no special case. I just want to let you know, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Bro. Yeah, you nailed that right there.
And I think you said it, man. And I don't want people to overlook what you just said. It ain't got to be no special occasion. Just every now and then, sit with me in the way Lala does. Lala will say, "Hey, babe." Now, I've had to say to Lala, "Hey, babe, I don't You know, I don't always feel appreciated,
Mhm.
right? My
Mhm.
wife and I have open conversations.
Yeah.
Babe, I don't always feel appreciated. I do this, and this. And it's not me enumerating all the things I do. It's just me saying, listen, I don't always feel appreciated. And since
Mhm.
that conversation, the girl will say, hey, babe, she'll grab me by the hand. She'll rub my hand. I appreciate everything you do. I
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
appreciate everything. And I don't need that every day, but every
Right.
now and then I need to feel like my
Yeah.
contribution to this family
Yeah.
is acknowledged,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
need to
It's
feel like it's
noticed. It's this one sister, and I wish I could remember her name on Instagram. She exactly what you were just saying. It's so funny because she comes on all the time and she talks about relationships and women paying attention to their man, and she even shows it. She shows it with her husband. She's
yeah,
like and it's so funny because she's short and he's a kind of big stocky dude. So
yeah,
he'll come in the door, she go and jump up on him and hug him,
right,
and it's really fun.
right.
Or that she's done reels where he's sitting on the couch, she'll come over and sit up on him, kind of hug on him and everything like that. Just those things, like you were saying, to show, hey, it's okay, ladies, it's okay to show that you appreciate your man,
And so
to show
let me
him.
interrupt you for a second, man, because I want to
No,
address this because it's important. And Lala, I'm coming back to your
yeah, yeah,
comment. This Nodella, and I want to say this as respectfully and lovingly as I can. This is the reason why men are quiet. Because immediately we've taken this conversation, and your question is, but women want to be appreciated too. This is the Grown Man Podcast. Right? So you immediately say when women have been carrying the home for generations upon generations upon generations, but nobody's asking why. And then you say, I'm up at the crack of dawn 7 days a week. You bring me some half wilted flowers, heck to the no. No, but what about the brothers who are doing the damn thing? Why ain't nobody celebrating them? And what I will never do, we don't bash women here, we don't bash brothers here, but we do give up space for brothers to feel seen for once. And
yeah,
I don't want to ever allow anyone to turn a conversation about celebrating men to the reasons why we ought to celebrate women. Not here. Not here.
yeah.
Here, we will celebrate brothers because brothers are the single most overlooked people on the planet.
Yeah.
We
Yeah. And
are.
I told you about when I went when I went to Africa last year, and the brother that pulled
Yes.
me up
Yes.
and said that very thing. He said, Dr. Leroy, he said, I'm so glad to hear it. He said, because we don't feel seen. We don't feel
Right.
heard.
Right.
This is
Right.
a brother all the way in
Right. All the way
Chihacha,
in
Africa,
Kenya. Yes.
in Kenya saying
Yes.
this. So
Yes.
we know it's something that's not just made up. It's
Yes.
something that is happening. And
Yes.
until we address the issue of men feeling as if they are being ignored, and they do get acknowledged and appreciated and all of those things. And I mean, and I don't want to, it's not a competition, y'all. This
It's
isn't
not.
a competition. It's
It's
really
not.
not.
But
It's
here's the
about,
deal.
yeah,
It's not a competition, but here's the deal, y'all. And this is why we have this podcast, because there are countless places where everybody's talking about women.
yeah,
If
yeah,
if Leroy were, and we do, Leroy and I are hard on brothers. We're hard on brothers intentionally, right? So you'll never hear us on here celebrating irresponsible behavior. We don't do that here. But what we will do is give an equal balance to brothers who need to be pulled up on what they're doing wrong, but celebrating the brothers that are doing well. We can't keep bashing men as if every man is bad. There are some dope black men out here
come on,
that
bro.
no
Come on,
one
bro. Say it
can
again.
anything about. We have a
Yeah.
tendency of highlighting the brothers that are not doing what they're supposed to do. And by the way, y'all, there are a bunch of sisters who ain't doing well. There are a bunch of sisters who aren't doing well, but we protect them and act like the lion's share of society that's not doing well is brothers. It's not true, and I won't allow it. Not here. If there's going to be a narrative here, we're going to celebrate black men. We're going to acknowledge black men. We're going to empower black men. We're going to love and respect black men. And we do so on credit here. We do so on credit. We will not make our podcast here because there's enough of them out there bashing brothers. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it here. And yes, are there some dope sisters who are holding it down? Absolutely.
Yep.
And there are podcasts to celebrate that.
Absolutely.
But here, we're going to celebrate the brothers that are holding it down. Like I'm holding mine down. I hold it down in my home. I don't cheat on my wife. I love my wife. I raise my kids. My kids are doing incredibly well. Right? My bonus children doing incredibly well. Let's talk about Marcus, who is making music, getting A's in college on the dean's list. Let's talk about that. And let's talk about the contribution that his father, his name is Dwayne, gave him that helps him to become. I'm a Johnny come lately. But you can't ignore the impact that Dwayne has had on Marcus's life. I can't ignore the impact that Red, they call him Red, had on my son Keisha's life. No, these are men who stepped up. And here on the Grown Man Podcast, we're going to celebrate them. We're going to celebrate every brother. We're going to celebrate Leroy. Leroy got 13 head of children, and Leroy taking care of 13 head of children. We're going to celebrate Leroy here.
I mean, and that is so true. But at the same time, when you hear celebrate brothers that are doing right, like Donald said, we're here to put foot up in those that aren't acting right and saying, look, brother, we're here to help you to be able to do the right thing and to be able to step up and be the man that you're called to be, and to be able to do that. The brothers that need that acknowledgement, that do need to be said, brother, we see you.
Yes.
We see you.
Yes.
We see you.
Yes.
We see you.
Yes.
And we hear you. Those are two things that I truly believe. And I know women want that too, but we want to be seen and we want to be heard. We want to feel as if we're being seen and we're being heard.
Women want it and they're getting it.
Yeah.
They're getting it.
Yeah.
Our society, and I heard this, and I know you got to go, bro, because you got another meeting, and so do I.
Yeah.
One white guy was asking about Black Lives Matter, right? And he was saying, he was asked one time, hey, why is white lives matter too? And, women's lives matter. He said, yeah, but if I'm a fireman, this is a white guy said this. He said, if I'm a fireman and I go down the street, I got to put the house that's on fire out. The house that's on fire right now is black houses. And of the black houses, the houses that are on fire right now are adult black males' houses. Because if y'all don't recognize it, Leroy and I look at the data every single day. Whether you recognize it or not, even if our sisters, because our sisters are killing the game. You guys will hear me say that over and over again. Sisters killing the game. Educated, C-suite, sisters killing the game. But have you noticed that the societal and social needle does not move unless and until we find a way to address black men? As a black man goes, our communities go. And we don't have
and that's
to,
not,
but it is what it is.
Yeah. And that's not just our community. That's communities altogether.
Yeah.
That's community as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, because if you look at any other ethnic group and you look at the position of the male in those communities,
Yeah.
We would say the
Yeah.
same. We say the same thing.
Yeah, bro.
We
Yeah.
say the same. We say
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not, to me. It's not putting one, one over the other. One is better
Right.
than the other.
Right.
It's not. It's
Right.
not. It is about acknowledging,
Yeah.
that hey, yes, men, you do have a place. Black men, you do have a place in our society. We need you.
Yeah.
We need you. And the way that we need you, we don't want you to just, hey, have a presence. We want to let you know that we acknowledge you. We hear you. We
Yeah.
want you to be. We
Yeah.
want you to be in the position that you're supposed to be in.
Yeah, man.
We do. We want you to
Yeah.
be in that position
Yeah.
because, and with you being in that position, yes, it is our responsibility to acknowledge you and to show you that you are appreciated, that you are heard, that you are seen for what it is that you
Yeah.
mean to
Yeah.
us as a family.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely, bro. It's
It
100%.
is, man.
Michael Norton says, thank you, both of you guys. Tears of you are absolutely welcome, man. And here's a brother. I love what
Yeah.
Michael just said, right? Here's a brother who said tears of joy. That's not a brother who is overwhelmed with acknowledgement. That's a brother
Right.
who is finally getting someone to say, hey, man,
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that brother, that's a hardworking brother right there.
That's a
Michael Norton
hardworking
is-
brother, man.
That brother
say,
is
hey, I'm listening while I'm working.
right.
I'm listening
You
while I'm
know?
working. Right. So
You
I
know.
want us to develop some sense of normalcy around celebrating men. Because my wife said it so beautifully, right? If you think that disrespecting him will get it, if you think that manipulating him will get it,
Yeah.
Leroy said it too. He said, it won't work. If you think you can disrespect him and shame him into change, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It does
So
not
at
work.
Remand, we tackle both sides of the coin, right? You've seen us give awards to brothers who are doing incredibly well, right? And we celebrate those brothers. And they don't have to be in business if they're doing great fatherhood stuff. If you guys were inside the community, you will see the stuff that Leroy posts, like celebrate brothers. And yet, if a brother is not handling his business, if he's not a man of integrity, if he's not a man of character, we ain't bashing him, but we coming. We coming. Like, hey, my guy, this who you want to be?
Right.
Right. So we're going to deal with both because we want Black men to be strong. I love our brothers. I love our brothers and I respect our brothers. I'm proud. Every brother that's listening to me, I'm going to end by saying this. Leroy and I got to go. We got 2 separate meetings because we still at work. This is work. We always have to remind y'all this is work, right? I want to tell every brother for the effort that you're putting in.
Yeah.
For the time that no one said thank you, for the father that didn't get a chance to say proud of you. Leroy and I, on behalf of the leadership of Remand, thank you. We love you. We respect you. And we're proud of you. Keep doing the doggone thing even when no one's looking, because you got guys like us that are depending on you to shift an entire culture. We love and respect y'all. Leroy, anything you want to say before we roll, man?
Nah, bro, that's the importance, man. And why I post, that this was one sister in particular. She does these affirmations to Black men,
Yes.
letting us know, I see you, I
Yeah.
hear you, I love it. And I love those, and that's why I put them in there, because it is when you get sisters that do acknowledge those brothers that are doing right, that are doing the right thing, and are handling their business, as we say, and that are upholding the family. Those are the ones that we do need to acknowledge. And the ones that aren't doing it, we say you can do better.
Yeah.
And here's how we're going to help you do better.
Yes.
We're going to help you do better.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's what it's all about, bro. It's nothing but love and respect here, bro.
Absolutely.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is, man.
And we're not going to say be going today. We're going to be a little more civil. This has been a hot topic today, so we're going to be a little more civil. Of you to have a great day. Be gone. Talk to you soon, man.
Deuces, y'all.